All right, we I think we are live. Yeah, we are live. We are live. Yes,
We made it.
we made it. I didn't think we were gonna make it, but we made it. We have a lot of people in the live chat, and we're gonna be covering the news on Atheist Republic News. We're gonna be talking about the news around atheism, secularism, religion, culture, politics, everything you guys cared about on our Facebook page in the last week, mostly about religion and yeah. But sometimes about other things. Oh yeah, somebody's saying Bismillah. Facebook, yes, Bismillah. Let's get started. Bismillah, please. Bismillah, please.
No, I thought it was
Armin.
Armin.
Armin, yes, Armin. Soho is confirming that the idea is great. All right, so
Katie is saying, how many of you don't want the stream to start so you can keep looking at the thumbnail?
Wait, I don't understand this. It gets better after you click on the thumbnail. Katie keeps saying like, oh yeah, people are not gonna click on the thumbnail because the thumbnail is so sexy that people want to keep looking at it. No, guys, when you click on it, then you get us. Then you get us, which is a lot better. Anyways.
And Deborah's very sweet. She's saying, out driving while listening. That's how much I love you guys. Oh, we love you too, Deborah.
Oh, okay, cool. I mean, we love you too. Yes, of course.
Person is saying, Jai Mahakali.
I like that. Okay,
Shabbat Shalom.
What's the? Oh, can I do the clap for the first news?
Well, it's not good news, but let's do it just because it's the first news, and we're getting
started. First news.
Okay. Trump appointed judges approve conversion therapy in the state of Florida in the United States. Recently, a federal appeals court in Florida overturned 2 bans on quote-unquote conversion therapy, which is the widely discredited notion that spiritual or pseudoscientific intervention can change an individual's sexual orientation. The 2-1 ruling by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals found that the conversion therapy bans enacted in some regions of Florida violated the free speech rights of the therapists who sought to convert patients, frequently adolescents, away from same-sex attraction or transgender orientation. As such, the appeal court's ruling, handed down by 2 judicial appointees of President Donald Trump, serves as a victory for conservative religious activism and a setback for LGBT rights. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Counseling Association, and over a dozen other professional organizations, the harmful effects of conversion therapy range from increased risk of anxiety, depression, and decreased self-esteem to substance abuse and suicide.
Okay, so can you explain to me? This is because it's free speech. Is that the argument? Because I was trying to like move around tabs and stuff. That's basically the gist of it.
These judges found at the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals that the ban on conversion therapy violates the free speech rights of the therapists who do this widely discredited.
So if I go out and say like, hey, this cures cancer, okay, give me money, this cures cancer. If somebody says like, that's illegal, that's a scam, that doesn't cure cancer, would these judges be like, no, that's not illegal because free speech?
If they were being consistent, yeah, they should say
well, that's where it gets into this slippery slope, because there actually have been people who have had cease and desist orders from the FDA, have been prosecuted for peddling phony cures for different particular ailments. So that's where you get into this very bizarre sort of it's okay here, but it's not okay here. And I think the main thing that what they're saying without saying it is because it's religious. And then this becomes even more. So if you have a therapist that advocates beating your children to the point of hospitalization as a way to get them to, change their bad behavior, is that now becoming free speech? If you have a therapist that says that you should tie your children up, put them in cage, you could just keep going ad absurdum. But the point is, that's why they call it a slippery slope argument. Especially if you have if you are part of a medical practice or a therapeutic practice that has ethics and rules that you're supposed to abide by. And I think the point is that a lot of times people who are religious persons, whether they're pastors or whatever, they also counsel people. And they're not counseling anyone under the auspices of any kind of actual therapy, counseling degree or medical or psychiatric degree or anything that actually is, a licensure other than being a religiously affiliated person. But I think have to read the whole argument.
I think that I understand apparently I understand what free speech means more than these judges. Okay, with all their, I have zero legal expertise, no education in anything law related, but I feel the need to educate these judges about the meaning of a free speech. That does not mean that you could violate other laws that already exist, okay? Free speech doesn't mean, for example, okay, I know extreme example, okay? I know this is extreme. I'm not saying this is the same. Maybe I am. I don't know. But if I say, hey, Johnny, if you somehow take care of Bob and Bob stops breathing by tomorrow, I'll give you $5,000. Okay? And then this was on a phone conversation and the police hears it and the police is like, hey, guess what, Armin? You're arrested. And if I go like, hey, I just talked. That was just me talking. What happened to freedom of speech? Where's my freedom of speech? They were like, no, Armin, you're being a moron. Yes, you have the freedom of speech. We're not arresting you right now because of your speech. You committed a different violation of a different law. We're not arresting you under some speech being illegal. We're arresting you under the conspiracy to commit murder. Okay? So that's what you're being arrested for, right? Just because there's free speech, that doesn't mean there are other crimes that we already have on the books all of a sudden go bye-bye just because you use your words to commit those crimes, okay? I mean, technically, if you want to go by, this is just speech, Adolf H., which I'm not going to mention, from Germany, he technically didn't do any of the things himself. He wasn't like showing up at the chambers and be like, I don't know how they do that thing, but he just told people to do those things. Like, like free speech, you want to do free speech? You know how, do you understand the consequences of that kind of line of reasoning when it comes to free speech? Okay. So again, these idiot judges, I mean, they're Trump appointed. Of course they're idiots, but no, I mean,
oh boy.
I mean, guys, I'm seriously, I don't think it's that complicated. Again, it's amazing to me that these are judges and I have more understanding of what free speech means than these judges. Yes, I do. Okay. I'm not saying I understand it. Yeah. I'm not even, there's no denying this. I understand law better than these judges. Okay. They are like, oh, there's the freedom of speech of these people to commit a crime, to sell woo-fuckery to people. Like, here's like
big words.
No, like, you can be cured from being gay. Yeah, you can't. You can't. There's no cure. It's not a disease. Nothing needs to be fixed. you're going against science, you're going against data, you're going against everything. If you just say stuff as a if you're practicing therapy or medicine and you suggest nonsense and sell it as if it's science and then try to charge money for it, that's a scam. I mean, technically, every scam is speech. Every scam is a speech. If this is free speech, therefore it shouldn't be illegal, then all scams all of a sudden become legal. How do these people not know how free speech works? Rivka,
It's worse than a scam. It's malpractice.
Well, also, this is only one federal court that's overturned this. This is in conflict with several other courts that have actually upheld bans in different places. And so it's probably going to, at some point, make its way to the Supreme Court because this is a federal appeals court. So, it just increases the likelihood that it may be heard by the Supreme Court. And so at that point, then what's the legal argument here? That somehow religious speech is trumps medical practice. So if I sell you a bottle of bleach as a cure for cancer, but I do it under the guise of religion, then that's free speech. But if I sell you a bottle of bleach under the guise of, something else that's secular, then it's fraud. Because where's the, I like I said, I haven't read the entire decision, so I don't know what exactly they based it on. I have to look at the precedent. Unfortunately, I had a really long, bad day and wasn't able to read the news beforehand, which I normally do. But it just seems like seems slippery, slopey, and very, some people get these rules and some people get those rules.
Religious privilege.
Exactly. It's religious privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's religious privilege. Okay, so it's exactly that. It's exactly that. And like, oh, this would be legal if it wasn't religious, but yay, you get to put the stamp religion on. Oh, so it's not illegal. You see how that works? It's amazing. It's amazing. You just have to, and then anybody who wants to take, like, guys, this doesn't seem fair. Like, why is this illegal for the rest of us, but not illegal for you? Like, prosecution. This is anti-religion bigotry. You guys are being intolerant. Like, no, we're just taking your stupid privileges away. And I mean, it's going to become a lot more difficult because of Trump's appointments. But Megan is saying, I think it's time we start considering ending judicial appointments. At this point, it's obvious that having elected judges with term limits and more transparent oversight is needed. I think I agree with that. I'm not sure, but I think I agree with that.
It's definitely more democratic.
Yeah, but I think, but some people might say, like, it's too directly because people cannot decide. Like, average people do not understand the nuances of law and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so maybe they should. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. I mean, most people, when you vote in a local election, they either don't vote for the judges or they just vote for whoever their friend who knows somebody else tells them. I mean, the judgeships we vote for judges where I live, but they're usually aligned with a party. And most of the time, the majority of people, sometimes even myself, it's hard to figure out what exactly they're standing for or and the truth of the matter is you might think someone is not necessarily of the same political persuasion or mind, but that doesn't mean that they're going to not rule in a way that makes sense and understands the rule of law and things like that, just because they may disagree with you on other things. So I think it's pretty complicated in terms of how you make rulings and what the law actually says and what it means. And most people, unfortunately, don't understand a lot about that.
All right. Should we, Susie? Do you want to say anything, or do we want to go to the next news?
No, all good points. Well, final thought would be conversion therapy is extremely harmful, and I've seen the effects it has on several people I'm close to in their lives, and it's devastating. And I'm upset that a ban was overturned. Like, we had made that progress to protecting that community, and particularly children are the ones who are most often coerced into doing this, and that protection has now been removed. So let's do the next news, which is
wait, Jimmy. Oh, please tell the main person to stop posting political bull on the page. Stick to the original meaning of the name of the page. We're gonna post more political stuff on the Facebook page, because we've been doing this from day one. People like, I used to like this page when they didn't have political. We were posting political stuff from the very beginning. You don't like it, you could go away. Just go find another page. In fact, Jimmy, I'm gonna post a couple of more political. No. I'm gonna post a lot of purely political posts on the page
with
today.
The caption, "This is for Jimmy."
This is for you, specifically because of this. Okay, specifically because of this. And again, now that you mentioned this, let me just say something else about this news item. Fuck Trump and all the judges that he appointed.
Oh, we're dropping big words today.
Thank you. Look at we're going backwards, guys. We're going back. Like all this great progress that has been made in the past 100 years. Every single like 4 years of so much damage. Look at this. In the most advanced country in the world. Oh, conversion therapy is back. Hey, guys, congratulations to the United States. Conversion therapy is back.
In Florida.
Oh my God, you guys, what the hell is you guys? Well, you make it
I have one more thing to say, actually. It's pretty interesting sometimes when people tell or say that they don't like politics, or they're not interested in politics. That's fine. Politics is usually interested in you, whether you want to be interested in it or not. It a lot of times affects your life in ways that you may not realize, or that may, come and smack you in the face. So atheism and politics do intersect often, and this is one of them, because we're discussing religious privilege. So we are sticking to the modus operandi.
I am.
I know exactly what you're about to be butthurt by.
Maggie.
No, she has to be triggering you on purpose.
Okay, this is Maggie. You're trolling me right now. You're trolling me right now. Okay. I thought you were a Trump supporter. Can you explain this? What did I ever do?
We can't even get into this right now.
What did I
do to you?
What did I do for you to ever I to ever come off as a? I need a moment. I need to. Guys, I don't know. I can't do this. I can't. Oh my God.
Gossam is saying, shame.
How did I ever? What did I do, Maggie? Are you just trying to trigger me? Because mission accomplished, okay? Mission accomplished. I consider me triggered, okay?
Well, anyway. Wait, I want to say one more thing in terms of posting political stuff on the page. We actually want our atheist community to be more politically engaged, because we're a growing portion of the population that has the potential to have a lot more power in the body politic than we currently do.
Atheists need to be more political. We
should.
Guys, let me actually, this is a very important point. Shut up, David. Get out.
Hi, David. Hi, David. David Worley.
Hi, David.
Armin
shut up.
Islam too.
No, shut up, David. But guys, the reason, atheists are winning the demographic game and yet losing the political game, the reason why our numbers keep growing, but religious people are becoming more and more influential in politics and controlling over our lives more and more on almost everywhere on the planet, even with less numbers, even though we're winning, people are coming more to our side, people are abandoning religion, and people are even becoming more atheists and secular. Everywhere on the planet, it seems like the demographics are in our favor, and yet almost everywhere on the goddamn planet, they're winning more women rights, gay rights. They're like secularism is being crushed. How are we losing so much politically while the numbers on our side? Is because we're not active politically. You're like, oh, I don't want to be political. That seems like, oh, that's what religions do. Well, congratulations. You played yourself. You played yourself. All your rights. Ah, bye-bye, my rights. Oh, this right that people bled for, and these rights that people sacrifice all their safety and security for the past hundreds of years for. Like, I'm just gonna like give, like, hey, religious people, here's my rights. Just take it. Just take it for. Yeah. Anyways.
David is also saying, ask Armin what he thinks of reforming Islam.
Shut up, David. I'm gonna ban you, okay? I'm gonna ban you, David. All right. Can I clap? Oh yeah, the next news is clap. I mean, let's move on. Let's move on.
The next news is hilarious.
Next news.
The Pope's Instagram account likes a lingerie model's photo. In the Vatican City, presumably. The Vatican is seeking information from Instagram after the verified account of Pope Francis liked a photograph of a skimpily clad Brazilian model. A photo of model Natalia Garibaldi, seen wearing Catholic schoolgirl lingerie, was liked by Francis's verified account at Franciscus. Franciscus. It is unclear when the post was first liked, but the interaction was visible on November 13th before being unliked the next day. Vatican spokesman Matteo Bruni stated, "We are in touch with Instagram to find out what happened."
In touch with Instagram?
The Holy See. The Holy See is investigating the matter with Facebook.
Like, wait, what did they mean? Like, Instagram was like, you
the
just
Pope done got hacked. Is what they're trying to say.
Yeah, presumably.
That's the implication that they are making.
Yeah, they're like saying like, yeah, we got hacked, and somebody is like conspiracy. Like, okay, first of all, do you guys think actually like the Pope actually manages his own Instagram account? Because if you think that, then there's like, I'm sorry, you guys. I mean, if it's fun to consider that the Pope is like looking at lingerie models and liking them. It's just fun, but come on. Like, does anybody even thought for half a second that the Pope actually manages her own Instagram account? This is probably
it's just so perfect though, because she's like literally wearing a Catholic schoolgirl outfit with her butt out.
Wait,
I
really?
sent you the photo.
Oh
yeah, but I didn't. I just noticed the naked. But the only thing okay, this is what you sent me the picture. My eyes just were like went to the butt and thought like we can't put this on the cover.
No, we can't.
Right? I like this butt is too big and too naked for us to be able to use on our YouTube cover. So I have to use a different lingerie model to put on our cover. So I'm sorry for you guys that we disappointed you. Okay, it's not the actual photo that Pope Francis liked. But obviously, we got a super chat from Ronnie. Ronnie saying
it's a butt imposter.
Okay. Well, no, let's do a super chat at the end of this story.
Yeah, because the super chat is not about what we're talking about, so we can cut it. Yeah. So the most likely scenario is that there's an intern that they hire. Like, they're like, oh, look at this person. He's young. He probably knows about social media and stuff. He has on his resume, I'm a social media expert or whatever. So, and he's like a Catholic or whatever. So let's just hire him. And your job is to just manage the Pope's social media account, right? And this guy probably has on his phone his personal secret Instagram account where he goes and watches his sock account where he like goes and watches like Catholic schoolgirl outfit models, right? And he just jerks off to it. And then he just he just switched between that and the Pope's account. Like he just
yeah.
And then when he does the Pope, like, okay, I'm supposed to, like, what am I posting today under the Pope's account?
What's Natalia up to? Oh,
yeah,
she looks
but
good.
I think he just didn't realize that when he was like liking that he was on his stock account rather than the Pope account. I think that's the most likely scenario. I just came up with that.
Honestly, I think the most likely scenario is that it was a mistake, like accidentally
That's
happened,
what I said.
or he got hacked. Like he doesn't have a separate Instagram account because these people are probably all priests anyways.
No, when it comes, I mean, this is okay. The Catholic Church has crap ton of money, okay?
know, but
wait, can I finish? I'm just
you
saying
were
that
this whole time, Armin.
Okay, no, but okay, fine. Rivka, finish. I'm just being anti-Semitic, Rivka.
Well, also, I think it's funny to think about that, but I'm guessing that's probably not it either. I mean,
what do you think happened?
Have you ever been scrolling on something and you accidentally press something and you're like, no, I don't want to sign up for whatever, or
no, that's a boomer problem.
Oh my! Don't act like
I'm sorry.
He just had to take that shot. He didn't mean it. I'm gonna remove him.
He can't help it. He cannot not be right. Oh, you just cut him.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, of course. Okay. So you're saying that it was just like who? Like not the Pope, obviously. Like somebody else was like scrolling. Rivka, can you hear us? What happened to Rivka?
I don't know.
Why is she muted herself? Rivka?
No, I was muting myself because your audio was sounding terrible, and I was trying to see if it was you or me or.
Oh, okay.
Because when you came back, it was all broken up. So I was muting myself to see if it was somehow.
Is it okay now?
Because you're so much smarter than me. Because you're a man, I figured that you would know how to deal with it, right?
I mean, I can't help my genetics.
Yeah,
it's not my fault.
Oh my god.
I mean, there's a reason why. Never mind.
Oh no. Oh,
Armin, your position at the monthly meeting is really precarious, bro.
Yeah. You're skating on thin ice, Monfrere.
I mean, okay. No, I'm gonna say something that's gonna get me canceled.
Don't say it.
Let's just forget this Pope news and move on then.
No. I do wanna. I just. Rivka? What do you think? Like, I genuinely want to know. Like, what do you think? Like, you don't think it was the Pope, right? You think like somebody?
I don't think the Pope does his own accounts at all. No, I think you're absolutely correct on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then so somebody who manages the account was just scrolling and accidentally clicked on the
picture? He got hacked, or it was some kind of bit flip. Have you ever heard of bit flips? It's actually a real thing that can happen. Where there's, anyways. I don't know that it was necessarily malicious, but if it was just sort of a funny thing, that they were like, haha, let's see what happens on this,
I think if it was hacked, they would have used it for something far more significant.
Oh, yeah.
Than just liking a picture.
He has over 7 million followers.
Yeah, they would post something, right? They would have posted something. And I think that if it's an accident, then it's such a major coincidence that the thing that they were just scrolling and happened to accidentally click on is a Catholic schoolgirl outfit. You know what I mean?
Which is where I think your point about someone looking at that is totally valid. I don't think that there aren't priests or novices or people working in the Vatican who aren't probably like, whoa, But
wait, I actually think Armin is his hypothetical is more likely because if they were just scrolling and accidentally clicking it, they would have to already be following her. The account wasn't following her, so someone went to go look at her And
They
then
were moving back and forth between accounts, and
Yeah.
they accidentally.
I think
Like
the
when
person who did
maybe-
that didn't. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a boomer who's a woman. So what do I know, right, Armin?
Right.
Even though I'm not a boomer, I'm a Gen X.
I
Yeah,
know.
let
I'm
them
just,
know.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Terrell
Look at
saying,
this comment.
yes.
Not Atheist Armin's door. Knock, knock. Who is it? Mossad. Mr. Navami. We have a few questions about the statements hostile to one of your co-hosts.
You better watch out. That dude was just assassinated the other day.
Yes. Yes. By the way, congratulations, Rivka. That was very well done. Do you
Flawless
guys?
execution.
Yeah, flawless execution, carried out very well. I actually genuinely mean that. I'm not even joking. That was I admire that. That was like perfect assassination. We're gonna do a live stream on that, by the way. You guys know that, people in the live chat. You guys know Israel just took out Iran's top nuclear scientists
In the middle of Tehran.
not in the middle, outside
really?
outside of Tehran, in broad daylight. Perfect. So basically, Rivka's people took down one of my top scientists people, and I'm not even mad about it. I'm like, nicely done. Congratulations. Okay, so thank you.
You know, credit where credit is due, right?
Yeah, and also you have legitimately not even jokingly offer your services to Mossad. So yeah,
I have.
You're just sucking up to them.
Musa, just call
me.
Rivka, put me in touch. Rivka, I'll be nicer to you if you put me in touch. Okay.
We're really busy controlling the weather right now. But
I thought it was the virus.
No, the virus, the weather. You know, that too. All of it.
Oh my god.
Wait.
The election, everything.
I do have to highlight some comments here because this Paz is saying, "Come on, what's wrong with in merely admiring God's handiwork?" Daniel is saying that the Vatican moves mountains to investigate the Pope liking an Instagram photo of a woman, but does nothing to investigate child molestation by its clergy and stuff. That's actually a very important take, Daniel. That's a very good point. Yeah, I
can't believe we didn't it.
This is only see is occupied with. This is what we're worried about.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good take.
Let's do the super chat though.
Oh yeah, okay, hold on. Let me
wait, no, I got it. Ronnie S is saying Sikh extremists shot down 2 men accused of desecrating Sikh scripture in India, and Sikh extremists are celebrating on social media. Sikhs also passed a law for life imprisonment for blasphemers. So yes, that did happen recently, and we're going to cover it on the news next week because that happened.
I might do an entire live stream on it instead of doing it on it, or maybe we could do both. That's crazy.
Well, let me know what you end up deciding because we do need to talk about this.
Thank you so much, Ronnie, for the $10.
Yes, thank you for the super chat.
Sikhs have extremists. That's what most people would say. No, I'm just kidding.
No, actually, you're right. That is what most people would be like. We're like, I thought you guys were different. I thought you were the chosen ones. You were the nice religion. What happened? It's like, let's put all our eggs in the Jainism.
Oh my gosh.
You just give us chapatis and stuff.
Rivka, why are you so funny? Oh my god.
It's my DNA.
Yeah. It's the accent that really got me.
Wait. Can I highlight this idiot here?
I knew you were going to go for that.
I need to highlight this. Asking for donations. Aren't you doing the exact thing that priests are doing at the churches? Yeah, we're doing exactly the same thing. We're telling people that if you don't donate to us, they're gonna go to hell. We're like doing things with children on the side. We're telling people that we're shaming people about their natural urges. What else are we doing? We
using all that money to have palaces of gold and stuff like that, and pay for our legal fees for hiding people doing
Yeah.
illegal stuff. Yeah, all
Well,
that, right?
very similar, very similar. Oh yeah. Everybody that asks for donation is just like it's just a religion, right? Yeah, all the charities, all the fundraising activities. Anybody? Oh yeah, it's just like a religion, just like the religion. Yeah. If what else is like a religion? If people have a community and get together once a week, is that now a religion? Because religious people do that. What else? What else do you want to just give the monopoly over to religions for? You want to give the monopoly over charity to religions? You want to give the monopoly over community to religions? You want to give the monopoly over being politically active to religions? What else are they going to have all to themselves? Huh? Mort? Are you gonna stop being a moron? You know what? Why don't you stop being exactly like priests? By stop being a fucking moron. Mort, how about you stop being like religious people by thinking for half a second before posting a comment? How about that? All right.
Oh my gosh. Beth is saying, pass the collection plate. Murtad is saying, hashtag Church of Armin.
I'm actually like the sign of that. All right. Okay, so do we do next news with the clap? Oh yes, this is actually great news. Somebody died, and it's good news for the first time, guys. I'm not gonna be ashamed of saying this. Okay, I'm happy.
Wait, can you say this after I introduce the news?
Okay. Next news.
Hardline Pakistani religious leader Khadim Rizvi dies in Lahore, Pakistan. Khadim Hussein Rizvi, the hardline Pakistani religious leader, known as a vocal proponent for severe punishment for quote-unquote blasphemy against Islam, has recently died in Lahore. Rizvi, 54, appears to have died of natural causes after suffering an illness over the previous week. Many believe the cleric had contracted coronavirus during the recent anti-France demonstrations. Rizvi is notable for founding the far-right Tehreek Labbaik Pakistan Party, or TLP, and advocating for attacking France with a nuclear bomb for defending the right to blaspheme against the Prophet Muhammad. Tens of thousands of maskless Islamist supporters gathered in Lahore for the funeral ceremony of the cleric. Some people say the gathering was as many as 1 million. I don't know if there's an accurate estimation, but the videos that I've seen of his funeral or memorial was huge. Like, if we thought that the crowd size that we saw at the anti-France demonstrations that have been going on in Pakistan or like Bangladesh was large, like this was like double or triple the size of those crowds. It was massive. But yes.
Yeah, I am so happy that this person died. This person, by the way, this guy would want us all dead. Like, not just like with the COVID or anything like that. He just wants us to be executed. Okay. This guy.
Oh yeah.
This guy was a monster. Okay. This guy was. It's an understatement to say that he wanted blasphemy laws in Pakistan, because he doesn't want blasphemy laws in Pakistan because he doesn't trust in the laws. He wants mob justice against people who dare even question Islam slightly in Pakistan. He wants them to be people showing up at anyone's door. People not if you're just anti-Islam, even if you're just the wrong type of Muslim, okay? This person wanted you dead, and his movement in Pakistan is huge. This guy was a cancer to Pakistan, okay? This guy is a cancer to Pakistan with a major following. And again, I know his movement. I know if you're in Pakistan and you're a secular activist, I know you're like, Armin, his movement is not going to go away. There's so many supporters. They're just going to replace him with one guy with another. Yes, I know. I know that the problem, his movement is bigger than this one guy. I know he has millions of supporters. I know he has between, 10 to 15% support in Pakistan. And that's not the majority, but it's still crazy. Like, we're talking about the country with 200 million and at least 10% support this guy. That means there's 20 million people in Pakistan that think that, oh, if you insult the prophet, you need to be hacked into pieces. Okay, that's what that means. Okay, if you just not like, oh, blasphemy laws, what court hearing and look waiting for evidence. You get accused of insulting Islam, you die by the mob in the streets like a dog. That's what these people believe. Okay, and this guy was such a charismatic leader for these people, and I know the problem is not going to go away just because he died, but it is a major blow. It is. He was a very effective leader. He was a very effective leader, and him dying is good for Pakistan. So I don't know if COVID took him, but finally COVID did something good. I don't know, but I think
we can't say that. We don't know that.
We don't know that.
We don't know
it would be poetic.
Because
we don't
he
know.
was buried before having a proper autopsy, given that he's a religious cleric.
I know, but if it is because of COVID during the protests against France, it's just
that's extremely unlikely because of the timeline.
Okay.
It's extremely unlikely, and so
he was in ill health. Somewhat in ill health anyways, because he was in this terrible accident a number of years ago and he's been confined to a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows, what? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in a wheelchair.
No.
Am I right?
No, he's
no, I know. No, I'm saying what to the comment.
So I want to say this. So Sri Ram Prasanna is saying, basically he's addressing Armin. You are against freedom of speech if you support his killing because the Pakistani army killed him for his speech, literally. We don't know why he died. And this is something that I wanted to highlight, is the fact that the conspiracy mill went on fire as soon as he died. And you are buying in to a straight up conspiracy.
Sri Ram, maybe look, listen. Maybe stop imagining arguments that I didn't make. I don't know. Maybe you have something stuffed in your ear. I don't know if you have like comprehension problems. Did you hear me say that I support his killing by the Pakistani army? Or you just imagine that? How about you stop imagining arguments that I did not make? To make it to act like look at me, I caught you, Armin. Armin is anti-free speech because I just imagined that he made an argument that he didn't actually make, huh? How about you try to actually address what I'm saying instead of imaginary arguments?
You don't know why he died. We don't know why he died. It is likely that will.
Let me just be clear.
Yeah.
If he was killed by somebody because of a thought policing or whatever like that, then I'm against that. But if he was killed because he was organizing a violent mob against a group of people, which he probably has, then that is justifiable. Okay, so if you say we're going to take this guy out because we just don't like his opinions. Yeah. Not cool. Very cringe.
Cringe.
But if you say this guy is organizing violent campaigns against a certain group of people, it's in the best interest of Pakistan if we take him out, assassinate him, right? They're like, nicely done. Nicely done, Pakistani army, for once. Okay, those are complete. One of them is for speech, the other one is not. Okay, but if he just happened to die because of COVID or because of some illness or whatever, we don't know. Okay, I think it's undeniable that Pakistan just became a little bit better, just a tiny bit. Okay, Pakistan just became a little bit less like Pakistan. And that's a good thing.
Oh boy. Well, Armin and I disagree with this, or maybe on this specific case, but I don't really celebrate people dying. I don't think
I do.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I don't think that's good for people. I don't think that's good for ourselves. And this is not like me making a, very well constructed, evidenced argument about it. I just don't think it's good for ourselves. But I do think that this will be a positive thing for the country overall. So I can celebrate that.
Right. Yeah. Well, well, you technically just celebrated his death. You might want to call it something else. But you
well,
did.
Damn.
Rivka.
I just wanted to bring to light, and I don't necessarily have an opinion on this, but the famous lawyer Clarence Darrow once said, "I've never killed a man, but I've read many an obituary with pleasure."
That's brutal.
That's brutal.
But well put.
Well put, yes. We do have a super chat. Yeah, but it's because it's not about this topic, we need to address it at the very end, which we will. I just need to see if there's any comments that would need highlighting. If you see anything in the comments in the live chat, let me know. I'm just going to highlight the comments on our page. Saying the world's smallest smile. And yes, I like that one. That's a good one. Yeah, guys, let's a moment of silence. No, never. Seems that Allah not big on longevity. Yes, okay, that's good. It's okay. Any better comments in the live chat?
Yeah, Katie is saying, so Armin changed his mind. He used to say that we should not be happy for someone's death once.
Well, I mean, that was about people who don't cause other people to die themselves. Okay, so if somebody actually, I changed my mind. Yeah, Katie, I changed my mind on that. Okay, I'm a utilitarian, so I admit I changed my mind on that. If somebody that was like a that was me betraying my consequentialism, focusing on principles rather than consequences. I don't think if somebody who is causing so much misery and death die and as a result cause less misery and death, then that's a net positive for the world. And I celebrate net positives for the world. So, yep, Katie, I changed my position on that. Okay, cool.
Any last thoughts before we address the super chat?
Rivka, did you want to say? Rivka, do you agree that this is a moment for celebration for someone's death? Yeah.
My new microphone has got some weird. My audio's great, but your audio is so I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was just saying if you're happy somebody died. Okay. Okay. All right. So wait, let me see. Oh, let's bring up the super chat. Susie, you can bring up the super chat while I'll bring up the next news.
Tyron Tex gave us $10. Wow, thank you, Tyron. Please do a live stream on the Bishnoi sect of Hinduism. They believe in veganism, protecting animals and trees. They seem like a very noble sect. They dragged a film star to court for killing a black buck. Interesting. Well, if you have specific articles or videos regarding this sect, please do it in give us that link and that information in the video recommendations channel on our Discord, so we know what you want us to talk about more specific.
So we have our Discord server and there's a channel called Video Recommendations. Please post it over there. Thank you. But I can just tell you that all religion is bullshit. Even the lovey-dovey Care Bear kinds that is full of like rainbows and people singing and being nice to each other. That's actually extremely dangerous because it's using its kumbaya nonsense to promote a false method at coming up with conclusion. But I could address that more if I do a live stream on it. But thank you so much for the super chat. Anyways, can I clap for the next news?
No.
Okay. So next news.
Female political prisoners sexually assaulted, tortured, and executed in Saudi jails in Saudi Arabia. A report from the human rights charity Grant Liberty alleges that political prisoners and women's rights activists have been sexually assaulted, tortured, and died while imprisoned within Saudi Arabian jails. The report, shared exclusively with The Independent, claims that 309 political prisoners have suffered severe human rights abuses since Mohammed bin Salman became the crown prince of the kingdom in 2017. Researchers reported that 20 prisoners were arrested for political crimes they committed as children, some as early as age 9, with 5 of these inmates already executed and an additional 13 currently facing the death penalty. 27 political prisoners are women's rights activists, and at least 6 of them have been sexually assaulted.
So just by the way, guys, remember, I don't know if how many people have been following me here, but I told you when this mofo, Mohammed bin Salman, when he came to power, and he was like, "Yay, woman can drive now," and he was like, "Yay, like we have theater now in Saudi Arabia." And I was telling you guys, this is a distraction. This guy's a goddamn monster. This is the oldest trick in the book when people are like, they have some small progress which they know that media gets obsessed with because these are symbolic, and behind the scenes that they usually symbolic progress like this is used as a way to do unimaginable crimes behind the scenes, but it's not as interesting news-wise as the things that they're feeding you, right? So for example, Mohammed bin Salman was like, okay, let me take out all my opposition in the army while letting women join the army. The media goes like, wow, Saudi Arabia lets women join the army, like, yay. And they're like, okay, let's kill this general and that general, and like, let's put this guy in prison. And like, guys, like these women rights activists in Saudi Arabia, they're like talking they are so inconvenient. Let's put them all to jail while letting women drive. And the media is like, oh my God, Saudi Arabia women can drive now. And like, yes, just pay attention over here while I'll put all of these people in prison indefinitely. Okay. So the distraction worked because guess what? Now, even if this is being talked about right now and people are noticing like, God damn it, like we thought this was the good guy. And I was like, from the very beginning, I was like, this guy is pure evil, okay? But even now, when people are actually noticing that Jesus Christ, what's happening behind the background is like horrible, even now, this is not getting as much attention as, so the media strategy that they had works, okay? The only reason sometimes it doesn't, okay, so it worked because this correction gets way less attention than those initial marketing push that they did, right? The only reason why it's backfiring is not because of people paying attention, is because even when they do something wrong is the kind of news that people really enjoy consuming, right? Oh, this Khashoggi guy being killed secretly and being chopped into pieces, and he was an American resident. It's not like all the hundreds of thousands of people he killed in Yemen. That's not interesting. So, I mean, media-wise, PR-wise, Saudi Arabia is losing, but only because of the type of news people are interested about, not about the type of news that they should be caring about. Anyways, you guys...
Real quick, we got a super chat, but it's not related to this topic. So, Sid, we will address you at the end of this story.
And the end of the segment, yes. Yeah. What do you think about what I said?
Well, Rivka, I'd like to hear your thoughts first.
Rivka is having audio issues.
I am having audio issues, and I figured out it's not the microphone because I pulled it out and it was still like that. But that's neither here nor there. I think that you're right that a lot of the drive movie theater is a distraction. I don't think that the agenda of being ruthless in terms of getting rid of critics or not allowing any kind of real dissent has changed at all. It's just, kind of a little bit of a shinier, newer facade, maybe hipper and cooler, but other than that, it's not much different. In fact, I think seems like a little bit more arrogant about it to a degree, like he's not real concerned about as much as it just appears that it's almost like the angry boy king kind of guy who's just gonna wield this authority, not just even to maybe affect something positive that he thinks for the kingdom, but in an angry way, in a vengeance way, because that's what a lot of these seem like. They're very retaliatory, particularly the rights campaigners about driving. It's so now
we're going to be talking about one woman specifically towards the end of the
so
news.
now women can drive, but you still hear the chatter is, well, we can't amend these charges or let these people out because that would be allowing them to win, so to speak, which again is this real, very sort of almost immature power struggle that you got to win all the time. No one can dissent in any way, even marginally, about something that you've already said that you've changed now. And you would think the PR for that would be to say, wow, this woman's really affected my mindset. Thank you so much. That would probably, if you really want to make it look like you're, Mr. I've changed, we're not really, cutting off people's heads and, but no, it seems like it's just a kind of distraction campaign too, because then you get the citizens to go to the movies and not be as upset about the other things that you might be doing.
Yeah, it's extremely frustrating that they don't get as much pressure on them as they should, and just the blatant hypocrisy on the global stage given the G20 summit is just insane. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'll get into one specific case later in the news, but the people who change their society for these advances that they then use as a marketing campaign, basically, are still being tortured in prison for the thing that they now use to take to the world stage to say, look, oh my God, we're so much better. We're reforming.
Right. We
totally
entered the
fake.
19th century. Right.
Yeah, like it's totally fake. The reform is just like a farce. Like,
and I just wonder too, like, I mean, as the prices of oil have dropped, the oil is a finite resource, so is part of this some way to position yourself for the future as a big, time player? Don't mess with me. All of these things. That's sort of what it looks like to me. It's, 4D chess or whatever they call it.
Right. So in response to this, people are saying, well, okay, so Twila is saying all religious should be held accountable for all their actions. I mean, I don't understand this comment. Of course, like everybody should be held accountable for their action. Ashley saying Western countries should implement sanctions, but they are too dependent on oil. It's the only reason Western governments turn a blind eye to the atrocities this backward nation commits. No one should be jailed, abused for asking for basic rights. Yeah, I agree with that, actually. That was, wow. I never agree with the comment this long fully. Weird. Ryan is saying it is like they got a pass on terrible human rights violations because they're wealthy. Why are we as Canadians still doing business with them? Cheap oil, that's why. Oh, good comments are on point.
It's not just the oil. They buy a lot of arms.
Yes.
As well, a lot of weapons.
They don't buy, okay, so they sell oil and they use that money to buy weapons. So the money comes back to the United States anyways.
Yeah, they buy the weapons from...
They're like, it's such a win-win for these, like, the military, the oil industry and the military industry in, like, Western European and North American countries. They're like, we give them enough money and then they give us the money back, and we just give them useless toys that they don't even know how to use, and they keep, even though we give them the most advanced weaponry out there, they still lose wars, which is amazing, against people that don't even have shoes.
I really liked when you were talking to what was his name, Phil Grusky, Phil G, that Canadian
Oh yeah,
intelligence
yeah.
or expert, and he was talking about how basically like Saudi can't do anything right to defend itself because basically they're just like he basically called them like fat. They're like they don't have to work for it. Like they're
Yeah.
fat.
This is a bunch of, they're basically what happens when you give like your teenage kids so much money and no accountability.
Yeah.
You know how you can imagine how they grow up to be. That's basically Saudi Arabia's government. And these, okay, so, and Debbie is saying, and these guys are on the Council for Human Rights, aren't they? Or something like that. Yeah, they are. But there was another person that was, oh, here. And yet they are on the Human Rights Council. I think it's time to close up shop at the UN. Okay, I do want to defend UN a little bit here because people keep thinking, it's easy. Like UN does so many things, and there's a lot of mistakes, and we call them out, and we make fun of them, and we mock them here as much as everyone else, or more actually sometimes. But the world without the UN would be a much worse world, even with all the hypocrisy at the UN, and with all the things that they didn't call out, and all the things that they called out wrongly. With all of that said and done, the world would be a much, much worse place if we didn't have the United Nations at all. Okay? And you could come at me at that. Come at me in the live chat. Globalist shill.
Yeah.
Well, you also can't let perfect be the enemy of good. Because something's not perfect every time and everything, then it's completely worthless. That's like baby and throwing out the baby with the bathwater kind of thing. Do they have a lot of issues? Yes. Do they have double standards on, some countries? One in particular? Very much so.
Oh yeah, Rivka.
Do they, do they make some poor decisions and align themselves with some people that, are not so great people? Yeah. But
or maybe take certain things at face value.
Right. But at the same time, I think you're right that, I'm not a burn it all down person. I think you should try and, see if you can make it work or fix it or solve the problem rather than just burn it down.
Yeah. I mean, not having a table where people actually come and talk like, oh, you're at war. Like, that's like not having anybody come at like, hey, can we come up with a different way to deal with this and negotiate? Like, just just remove the only body in the whole goddamn planet that even provides that alternative. Yeah, sure, that would be great. That would be fantastic. Anyways,
let's do the super chat.
Yes, let's do the super chat.
Sid Dave, thank you for the $10, Sid Dave. Is saying in Iran, if a non-Muslim converts to Islam, they inherit all of the family's property. Don't you think this is modern day apartheid? If South Africa was boycotted globally, why not Islamic countries? I think this is mostly directed towards you, Armin.
Yeah, I mean, I support the sanctions. If a non-Muslim converts to Islam, they inherit all of the family's property. I mean, the status of all religious minorities relative to Muslims and even Sunni Muslims relative to Shia Muslims, I think you could technically say, I think that would make it there's dual status for the citizens in Iran, so that's technically an apartheid state. Yeah, you're right.
Well, the guy, if it's a woman, she's not going to get all the property, right? She's only going to get
half.
The guy,
Yeah, no, but this is technically an apartheid state, I think. I mean, I have to think about it a little bit more, but you're right. The fact that a Muslim citizen in Iran has different rights and has a different status compared to non-Muslims in Iran, that makes Iran an apartheid state. And just by that, anybody the sanctions, all the sanctions on Iran become justified if you're being consistent.
Boycott, not sanctions.
Yeah, but boycott is even more extreme than sanctions. Okay, so if you want to support boycotts, then you should definitely support the sanctions, because sanctions is just like the government is saying, like, you guys can buy whatever you want, but we're not going to trade with this country. Okay, boycott is like, we're going beyond, like, we're going to individuals, you know what I mean? Like, we're going beyond just like government sanctions. We're like asking everybody to stay away from their products. So I don't know, I think that's even more extreme than just asking for sanctions. So if you support that on South Africa, then you should definitely be on the side of sanctions on Iran. I'm not sure, but what do you, Rivka?
Well, apartheid, I mean, people have kind of moved it into like cultural, gender, but usually it in its original definition had a lot to do with segregation specifically, versus, you know, some people get more property versus other people that don't. That might be what they would now call gender apartheid, where, you know, but I think to me, it sounds more discriminatory, because if you look up like a lot of the definitions of apartheid, they usually have to do with economic, but they can be economic discrimination. But originally it was segregation, specifically in terms of separate but not equal. But so in a way it kind of is, but it's a blurry kind of thing. It's hard to understand, and it's usually, I mean, but there's economic discrimination, there's political discrimination, there's the segregation level of it where you can't mix, you know. So I mean, there's so many things that go into what apartheid, in terms of how people, the definition that came out of South Africa, and then how people perceive it now. But I agree with you that, yes, support the sanctions on Iran, support the people of Iran, especially the women who are, you know, really risking their lives to, you know, just take off a piece of cloth.
Well, okay, but that super chat got a lot more, yeah, but you're right, Rivka. But let's do we got another super chat. Thank you so much, guys. But we need to, after the super chat, we're gonna get to back to the news, okay? But yeah, but anyway,
never ask us anything. That's on Fridays.
No, but I'm gonna highlight it. By the way, Rivka, you're on point. By the way, sorry if I'm acting like we need to move on, because we do need to move on. But you are usually like 99% of the time your commentary is on point. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good. So, Tyron is saying, "Have you seen Mad Max Fury?" Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Tyron. Have you seen Mad Max Fury Road? The villain. What was that name? The villain's name? Immort. Okay, I don't know the guy's name. Reminded me of Muhammad. He has fanatic followers willing to die, and he has multiple wives. I watched Max Fury a long time ago. I remember thinking that this is. I remember getting Islam vibes from it when the guy was like, "Witness me," right? And I was like, "This is shahadat." Shahadat means literally, like, witness, like becoming a witness, right? No, that shahada,
like a declaration of faith.
Yeah, like no, shaheed. Okay, so shahadat is a declaration of faith, but the same root letters are used in shaheed. So shahadat is like witness, like declare. Okay, so I don't shahada. So shaheed is a person who's used for the word martyr, but it has the same root words as witnessing something, right? So it was like, whoa, what is happening? Like, these people are like giving their lives and they're saying, witness me. So this makes the whole word shaheed in Arabic, as they use, because shahada is supposed to be something about witnessing, and they're dying, and they're like, what does that got to do with being a martyr? I never connected the dots. And basically Mad Max Fury made me understand Islam a little bit more, because I like, oh, okay, I see, because they're becoming, their act of sacrifice is them telling the world to witness them. I'm like, maybe this is why Islam calls their martyrs shaheed. All right. So again, it was very relevant. I have to actually look this up later to see if I'm right about that. But anyways, yeah. Soha is here. Yes, shahada. Shahada has something to do. The root verb shahada has something to do which is used in shahadat, which is
testimony.
Shahadat is testimony. Testimony, but something. Okay. Okay, I have to look this up. Oh no!
Often, though, religions kind of quote testimony, witness, like in the Christians say that when you get up and you talk about, Jesus and your Savior, you're testifying or you're giving witness.
Giving witness. That's what it is. Yes, Qasim is saying exactly. Shahadat means giving witness, and shaheed means being the person that is giving witness. Which I didn't understand why the word for martyr is shaheed, and that's exactly what they're doing. You're becoming a martyr, and you're becoming the person that is giving witness by becoming a martyr. So that was Mad Max Fury and Islam. Anyways, next. Can I clap for the next news?
Yes.
All right, next news.
India's fight for same-sex marriage equality inches closer, and currently, a three-pronged push to establish same-sex marriage equality to the books is being pushed through India's high courts. Activists have taken the fight to the Delhi High Court, seeking to amend existing marriage laws, specifically the Hindu Marriage Act, or HMA, and the Special Marriage Act, or SMA, to recognize the right for LGBT couples to marry. Pro-LGBT lawyers have argued that the language used in the HMA is gender neutral, as it does not explicitly define marriage as between a man and a woman. The plea is joined by two other notable cases presented to the courts, one filed by a lesbian couple who attempted to register their marriage under the SMA, or Special Marriage Act, as well as two gay men who wedded in the United States only to find their marriage was invalidated in India under the Foreign Marriage Act.
You know why this is happening, right?
Because of Sexy Kali?
How do you know? How do you know me so well? Okay, guys. Okay, this is scary. I didn't even think that Susanna is gonna guess this, but
of course, are you kidding me?
But this is happening. We're making this progress in India because you're welcome, India. That's why. Okay, because we hear good news for Hindus in India because we did this. Okay,
it's not like this was filed beforehand.
Nope. Be quiet, okay? We showed our support for marriage equality in India by designing this beautiful Atheist Republic blasphemous art, which is a beautiful, sexy kiss between Kali, goddess Kali, goddess Kali, and Sita. I'm hearing some echo. Reduce my volume. And look at this. It's beautiful. We have like the gay flag and everything here, right? And we're making this to normalize blasphemy and also to normalize gay marriage, right? And it worked. It worked, guys. We did it. Okay, I'm hearing more echo, but it's fine.
Oh my gosh. Vince is saying Sexy Kali worked.
Yes. Look at this.
So this is good news. This because previously I had heard about how they are interpreting or trying to interpret the Hindu Marriage Act differently, because the Hindu Marriage Act just defines marriage as between any two Hindus, which is therefore gender neutral and can include LGBT couples. And in fact, I believe they are arguing that if they don't accept same-sex couples under the HMA, then they're actively discriminating against them on the basis of the fact that it's not already defined as such. We got a super chat.
Ooh.
And it's actually relevant to this news. So
Wow.
Ronnie S, thank you for the $5, Ronnie, saying even Hindu extremist RSS, which is an organization for those who are unaware, has provided a soft support for gay marriage in 2018 and talked about protecting transgender and gay rights. What do you think?
Oh, even Hindu extremist has provided soft support for gay marriage in 2018 and talked about protecting transgender gay. Yeah, I mean, I guess great. I mean, that what do they want, a cookie for not having every single of their opinions being moronic? Like this is what thank you so much, Ronnie, for the $5 super chat. But it's like, to me it sounds like, look at this really problematic, bigoted, extremist far right ideology, that on this one thing they are on the right side. Yay! Here's cookies to RSS for being bigots, and 90% of the time, but not all the time. All right,
Wait,
like
AGA is giving cookies.
cookies. Yes,
She gave you 3 cookies.
Too many cookies, AGA. We don't have that many patrons to be able to afford handing out that many cookies. By the way, guys, link to our Patreon is in the description. Please become a patron so we could afford baking more cookies and hand out more cookies to people that like,
more
look at me.
blasphemous, sexy art, more importantly.
Yes, guys, we're gonna drop, our patronage is gonna drop by the end of the month. By the end of the month, some people leave or stop being a patron, so we need more patrons to be able to create more blasphemous art. Okay, please keep us above 200. If we're above 200, we could safely make one blasphemous art every week. We're gonna drop, so please help us go back to 200 by the end of this month. Okay, we really need the support. Link in the description.
I wanted to just oh, I'm sorry, the audio is still acting really weird. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm okay. I just wanted to make a point though about the RSS, I think that's what they're called, being, nominally in support of this. You don't necessarily have to support everything they do to find areas where you can have common ground with people and use that. Sometimes it's helpful because then you're able to make a bridge, so then you can start talking about other things. You could say, well, we agree on this. Maybe there's other things we agree on. Let's see if we can talk about it. I just find that sometimes looking for the things that people have agreement on is sometimes helpful in order to maybe see if you can find a dialogue with people in order to maybe change some of the ideas, right? Because we talk about what makes bad ideas go away is better ideas. So if you can say, well, this is a really good idea that we both seem to agree on. Are there other areas? Or, and I just feel like, I'm not saying you should be like, yay, you're the greatest. We love you. We don't care about all the other bad ideas you have. But sometimes finding those areas of agreement are ways that you can bridge something so that someone might be more willing to hear you or hear some sort of dialogue that you might be able to have. That's all. And I'm not saying that you should forget the bad things or the bad ideas that they have or the,
right.
That's all.
Susanna, do you want to read the Troyel's and Katie's comments?
Yes. So Trells is saying, this BS again about Hindutva support for LGBT rights. They literally filibustered out Indian MP Shashi Tharoor's private members bill to decriminalize homosexuality in 2016. And then Katie is saying, also, the government literally opposed the case, saying legalizing gay marriage is against Indian culture. So we talked about this previously. Last time we talked about one of the cases that's filed in the court was highlighting the fact that the argument against making the language of the Hindu Marriage Act more clear is they were saying, well, it's against Indian culture. And they didn't voice support for legalizing gay sex in 2018 either. Oh my gosh, wait, we got another super chat. Holy cow. Thank you for the $10, David. David the Goliath is gave us $10. Thank you. Saying in India, the left-wing Congress passed a blasphemy law in Punjab, which will send blasphemers to prison for life. And the right-wing RSS supports, I think they're saying the support is nominal to gay marriage. This is India for you. That's how they end. Well, yeah, so we're going to talk about this whole blasphemy situation in Punjab soon, and how Sikhism is involved, because it's really important. But yes, that's what he was referencing.
I just want to say now that we fixed this for you, India, just let us know what.
Not yet.
Well,
not yet.
No, it's guaranteed. Okay, we fixed it.
Oh boy.
Shh. Just tell us what other problems you're having, and Atheist Republic will be right on it. Okay. I heard that, like, I heard you're having a COVID problem. Okay. You want me to? You just call us. Just call us. Like we solved this, and I don't know. Anything else? Do you want us to like fix your caste system, your toilet problems, poverty, extreme poverty, anything? Just come to Atheist Republic. We'll take care of it. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, it's not big of a deal. Okay, all right. What again? But guys, stop. Okay, so Sri Ram is saying, guys, stop posting political statements here. No, guys, do the opposite. Post more political statements. More political statements. We want to hear your politics. Please post more political statements. Whatever side you are, we want to see what your views on politics are. So please post them more. Okay.
And then Katie is saying, Armin calls me pessimistic, but I'm actually optimistic that same-sex marriage will be made legal in 2 to 3 months. Will be interesting to see how it comes down with the 3 different cases that are up in the courts right now. So they're getting hit on all sides.
Eric saying, next thing we know, Armin is running for president. I will never run for president because the only position I accept is the king of the whole world. That's the only thing that I deserve to fix everything. I will fix everything. Okay. I don't want to be a president of a country. Because I have to rule. Yeah. Anyways, we need to work on the mommy issues of many Indians. Maybe have Freya go over and hug some. Yeah. That's the one thing that we cannot help with. Okay. We will be able to get rid of the caste system, fix COVID, and fix the toilet problems and all the bigotry in India. All of that is easy. We could take care of it if you just hire us. Okay. Easy. But the mommy issues, that one is like, oof. The mommy issues, we can't even touch that. That's like, that's not fixable. I'm sorry. You guys have to deal with that yourself.
We got a super chat that's related. So Tyrant Text, thank you for the $5, saying, who do you think Indians should vote for since the left wing is so Islamist?
Wait, we can't say that.
Really, they're very apologetic. Islamic apologetic. It seems
we're a 501c. Can we even
let me finish.
Okay.
It says it seems as if the right wing is. I'm so mad at you right now. I'm gonna start over.
Listen, you're gonna kids, if I have to stop this car,
all right, okay,
please. Who do you think Indians should vote for since the left wing is so Islamist? It seems as if the right wing is the lesser of 2 evils.
Oh, you're not gonna answer? Okay, we can't. I don't think we can say who to vote for because we're 501c, right? Is that the responsible thing to say?
You can express your opinion as an individual and not as a representative of our organization.
Okay. Are you sure? I can do that? I don't know if I could do that.
I'm not campaigning for anyone particular. And I will straight up say, well, one, I do not know who is running for office in the left wing or the right wing in India right now. I just know more about the general attitudes and positions of the parties. But I couldn't even give you a specific answer, even if I wanted to. So,
actually, I don't actually. Okay, who do you think Indians should vote for since the left voting against limits? It seems. I think you should just. Well, I mean, what is this? Is this like? Yeah, I think I don't know. Depends on the situation. Depends on each province. Generally, I think it's safe to say that the lesser of the two evils right now in India. Not always. Not always. This is my personal opinion and not reflecting the opinion of Atheist Republic as an organization, blah, 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 blah. But it seems like it from a distance here without knowing the details and all disclaimers and all that stuff, okay? But it seems to me right now that you have a Hindutva problem that is a bigger threat to India's secularism and enlightenment values and progress than whatever Islamic problem that you have. Okay, it seems like Islam is a problem, obviously, always, everywhere, but right now the immediate threat to India is Hindutva. And I suspect that you need to get rid of that. I mean, if your leftist people have Islamic apologetics issues, that is not going to be as the net loss to that from them having wrong opinions about Islam is not going to be the consequences of that to India is not going to be as significant as giving Hindutva, this far right nationalist bigots, authority over taking over your country. Okay, so just vote. If I say it's mostly, I would suggest it's mostly a vote against the Hindutva rather than a vote for the leftists, right? So even if you're voting for any of these leftists, do it not because you support them, but because you're so much against Hindutva. But go on, sorry, you wanted to.
I was gonna say. I just want to say I want to vote for bindi masala. That's the best dish, in my opinion. I'm just being facetious, but everybody likes, butter chicken and all that other stuff. No, bindi masala is the best.
That's true.
Render unto Caesar gave us $5 super chat, and he or she is saying, vote your values, but now I realize that many Indian values are religious values and they suck, so never mind, I don't know either. Yes, if you are, if your values are religious values or far right values, just don't vote. Stay home. Just stay home, okay? You're already doing enough damage to the world. Just relax. Just chill. Just watch TV. Just see what's on Netflix, okay?
Bindi masala.
All right. Do we need to highlight anything else before we go to the next news?
No, let's move on.
Okay, can I clap for the next news?
Not really.
Okay, so maybe like next news?
I mean, I guess you could.
Next news!
Okay. Swiss police to investigate terrorist. I have to use coded language because of YouTube. People who do bad things, extreme things in the name of religion. Okay, so Swiss police to investigate terrorist motives behind attack in Lugano, Switzerland. A local Swiss woman who stabbed a victim in the neck and grabbed another by the throat in a department store in the city of Lugano last Tuesday on November 24th is a known terrorist sympathizer who fell in love with a jihadi online and tried to meet him in Syria in 2017, according to the police. At the time, Turkish authorities turned her back from the Syrian border and returned her to Switzerland, where authorities admitted her to a psychiatric hospital. Passers-by subdued the 28-year-old suspect until the police arrived and took her into custody. The injuries to the victims were non-life-threatening. Austrian Chancellor Sebastian Kurz, Cruz? No, I'm not saying that right. Anyway, the Austrian Chancellor, whose country was the scene of a deadly jihadist shooting in early November, also tweeted his condemnation of the attack. So I wanted to highlight this because it's been a long time. It's been several years since there's been terrorist activity in Switzerland. And there were very few people talking about that this week.
Kurz is what I think it is, by the way. Kurz.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's interesting to me too, because Switzerland, they have a very tight control over everything in their country, and they seem to really relish keeping it that way. And interesting, luckily there haven't been too many there, but I find it interesting too that they're saying that even though she is a Terry sympathizer, they also are saying that she is mentally ill as well, and that she had been in a mental hospital previously or in a facility for something, I think, tertiary to this, not necessarily her, Terry leanings. So I think it may be a case of both, or they're, one is feeding the other or vice versa. I'm not really sure, but I know that they did say that she had been previously in a mental hospital when they had arrested her before. So I just find it kind of interesting that she's not necessarily homegrown cells or that kind of thing so much comparatively to France, say.
Well, by the sound of things, I couldn't find a lot of detail. It sounds like she was radicalized through this relationship she had with this online militant. Yeah. But yeah. That skeptic saying the true love jihad. I'm so mad.
I mean, technically he's right though. That's
technically
actual.
He is right.
I mean, this is like legit. Like not all the conspiracy ones that people say. This is like the real love jihad. I do want to highlight some comments and tell you why they're funny but wrong. Hold on. Wait, what? Oh. Wrong one. There we go. Got it. There we go. All right. So, okay. So Andrew is saying, "Well, slap my arse with a wet fish and tickle my toes. That's a surprise." Well, I think that's funny. I mean, that is funny and all, but it is surprising because a lot of people think these are common, and these are not as common as people think they are. Okay, and they have,
especially in Switzerland.
Yeah, they are not. And people are saying, Kevin saying fake news. They are the most peaceful people on this planet. Again, technically, Muslims on average are peaceful. Vast majority of them. So make fun of the religion, not the people. Most Muslims are peaceful, to be fair to them. I mean, this is funny as well, but let's just be clear. The number of crimes that happens in Swiss that is not like this is astronomically higher. So if I heard this news and before the investigation, somebody just told me, make a guess, Armin, is this a terror attack? It would be a safer bet to be like, an Islamic terror attack, it would be a safer bet for me to be like, no, probably not. And if it just happens to be an Islamic terror attack, I would still be in the right to have guessed that it wasn't.
In fact,
right.
They are investigating if it is.
Right.
They suspect, given her previous history in current events, that it may be, but they have yet to officially declare it as such.
Yeah, so in like comment is like, so when people say like, of course, I'm like, how do you mean of course? I mean, it's actually shocking that this is so guys, don't let your anti-Islam activism, which is totally legit, like kudos for being anti-Islam activist, but don't let that get into your head to think like exaggerate things, okay? That doesn't mean that, like if you're at the point of like, there was a stab attack, so this must be an Islamic terror attack. Yeah, you're going a little bit, not a little bit, you've gone full on dogmatic with your anti-Islamism, right? So that being said, given that this was potentially an Islamic terror attack, and also potentially a mental health issue. Again, we don't know. Okay. But given that that's the case, I just want to remind people something being a mental health issue, that doesn't mean religion is blameless. Okay. Because just like everything else, when you mix it with religion, it gets worse. Right? Almost everything else. So religion poisons everything, including mental health issues, right? So yeah, it could be because of mental health issues, and mental health issues become astronomically a bigger problem when you add a dose of religion to it. Okay, so just because somebody's suffering from mental health issues, that doesn't mean religion goes blameless. Another thing, last point I want to also bring up, is that a whole bunch of leftists, not all, always claim like, if there was a white person, they would say this is mental illness, but when it's a brown person, like, Islam is to blame. No, okay, no. Like I've been following many news outlets from all sides, biased ones and more biased ones, and it seems like it doesn't really matter the color of the person's skin or their background. If they find out that mental health is involved, they're going to say there was mental health issues involved. Like there is bias in the media, but there's also imaginary bias in the media that just proves your narrative, and people just see it there. Me saying that this bias is not as big as people think it is, that doesn't mean there is no bias. There is bias, but at least recognize where the bias is actually at, instead of just imagining the biases that sometimes are not there. And it just proves. So if this was a white guy, for example, right now, that did this crime, and he also happened to have
likely, I don't know, likely a white woman.
Okay, but a white man that didn't have an Islamic background, okay, or didn't have anything to do with Islam, okay. If that was like a straight white man that wasn't a Muslim, did this, and they said, "Oh, mental health is suspected to be mental health," we're like, look at this, they're saying it's mental health. They wouldn't have said it if it was Islam, but they do say it when it's also a Muslim or a brown person or a black person or whatever. Okay, so in fact, they're more careful with their language when it comes with when it's that. They're like, "Oh, can we say this? Can we say that?" Like they're actually biased on the other side. Okay, so anyways, those are all my points.
We got a super chat.
Relevant?
No. Is there anything else we want to say about
Rivka
this?
seems to want to say something. So
yeah,
Rivka.
I just want to say that there is a lot of literature in the psychiatric world about hyper-religiosity in terms of a psychiatric disorder. There's, another thing they call Jerusalem syndrome. There's a lot of, usually that happens but specific to certain places, Jerusalem, but there's a hyper-religiosity and psychiatric conditions that is mentioned in the DSM and things like that. So I'm not saying that this is all mental health issue or all religious, but it's interesting to realize the sort of vicious cycle or interplay that can happen between these two. So that's one. And then two, the other thing I wanted to just piggyback off the thing that you were saying about, if this was this kind of person, they would say that. And I agree with you. I don't think that is always the case. I also think that there's this, often amongst leftists, tendency to make assumptions about a person's race or ethnicity based on what they think that person would be. Like, all Muslims are Arabs, all Arabs are brown. That is not the case. But there is this sort of monolithic view of people. And so because they have this monolithic view about people's identity and where they come from, who they are, what they think, then they have this monolithic sort of prescription that they apply to every situation, because they've already come up with this monolithic worldview about everything. If you're Arab, that means that you're Muslim. That means that you're very religious. That means that you're automatically brown. That means that you're a victim. So this is what happens. It fits my narrative. It's this broad brush. So I think that's often what happens. And I do agree with you. I don't think that that's the case all the time. And I also think that you need to call things out, because as we discussed last week, when you refuse to say anything about what people actually see happening in front of their eyes, then you get this void, and that void gets filled with fascists, whether it's religious fascists, left-wing fascists, right-wing fascists. You can't have this gaping void there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good points. Can we do the super chat? Yes.
Sure. So Tyron Tex, related to the last story, was saying, well, thank you for the $5, first of all. You guys underestimate India's left. 10 years ago, they would have taken bin Laden look-alike in Muslim-majority areas during campaigning to gain votes.
I'm not underestimating. Wait, bin look-alike. Okay, I'll take bin Laden look-alike over bin Laden any day. I mean, look-alike is not that big of a problem. I don't know.
Some of the bin Ladens are actually kind of good looking if you get rid of the, mindset or whatever.
Right. I mean, I think
someone who's very much like that.
I know what he meant.
Yeah.
All right. I just think that's okay. So we're talking. I don't think. Okay. I honestly don't think they will take like literally somebody like bin Laden. But I'm just saying that I'm not underestimating them. I think they're less. They have dumb takes. They have extremist views when it comes to Islam. I don't think as extremist as actually literally as bin Laden though. But they are not the immediate threat right now to India. Okay, it's just like, okay, fine. They have really crap takes. Okay, they have really crap takes and bad ideas, but that doesn't mean that they are as dangerous to India right now as Hindutva. Like, just saying how bad Hindutva is not dismissing how dangerous some of these leftist people in India are. Okay, it's possible for you to be like, me saying A is worse than B is not dismissing the fact that B is bad, right? Okay.
Let's do the next news.
Wait, read this comment for Rivka.
That Rivka is simping for the bin Ladens. No.
I just wanted to get Rivka's reaction.
Yeah, get a rise out of her. Yeah.
Wait. Okay, Katie saying these people call the left Islamists because they don't even know what an actual Islamist political party would be like.
Right.
Left is effing stupid, but that doesn't make them Islamists. Yeah, I mean, I think they're Islam apologists. They're not like literally like, yay, mass suicide, boom booms, yay, we love that. Oh, yay.
I don't think the left of India is trying to reestablish the caliphate.
Yeah, they're like, I think they're as dumb as like, yeah, Islam is lovely and all that. It's beautiful religion. It's peaceful. It doesn't do violence. Like, I think they're that dumb, but they're not as dumb as the actual radicals. As like, yes, behead the blasphemers, kind of like dumb. You know what I mean? That's a bit extreme. Okay, I don't think they're that far gone. I don't think so. To correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, I genuinely think, as dumb as they are sometimes, India's identity is being challenged by the far right. So yeah, focus on that first. Anyways, can I clap for the next news? I'm just gonna do it anyways. Next news.
Apple is lobbying against the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act in the United States and Xinjiang, China. According to two congressional staffers intimately familiar with the matter, Apple lobbyists are attempting to soften a bill intended to prevent forced labor in China, highlighting the clash between its business interests and its corporate stance on human rights. The bill, titled the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, would require United States companies to ensure that they do not use forced or imprisoned workers from Xinjiang, where researchers estimate the Chinese government has placed over 1 million people into internment camps. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, the staffers said that Apple was one of the many US companies that opposed the current iteration of the bill. Fearing that providing specificity would identify them to Apple, they declined to disclose details on the exact provisions Apple was trying to, quote, water down. Apple spokesperson Josh Rosenstock said that the company earlier this year, quote, conducted a detailed investigation of our suppliers in China and found no evidence of forced labor, end quote.
You know how sometimes I think, like, have we become better people, or is it just the systems that become better, right? Like this, and stories like this makes me realize that if like slavery was okay today, Apple would legit just have like slaves, right? Like they would just have like the same people are in charge right now, right? If they could get away with just having slaves, they would just legit like they would. No, wait, they wouldn't be having slaves. They would be selling slaves in in the Apple store. Like you would be.
Oh my god!
No, I like. I legit think that the same people that are running these corporations right now, it's very likely that if it was legal today to buy and sell slaves, you would be able to go to the Apple store and be like, ooh, like let me check out look at the skull size, look at, oh, there's pictures of the teeth. This person has some muscle on them. Okay, I'm gonna enter a bit here. Like that's how these people would just straight up do that.
They would use the health app.
Yeah. They would like, are we like, is this not evil? Is it fair?
Well, a lot of those companies almost are dealing in slave labor to the extent that some of these, particularly if you're talking about the Uyghur situation, so yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's really sad. And I know that other companies, I'm sorry, Murtaugh Skeptic, I slave. Good one. I know other companies are lobbying to have their names removed from the legislation. It specifically apparently calls out like Coca-Cola, Patagonia, people like that. And so I think that there's like this thing that's happening is that they're fine with doing things as long as people don't know about it. Right? And most people are happy not to know as long as they get their iSlave or whatever cheap, or you know what I mean? And they don't have to worry about it. So I think that that's kind of what you're seeing here a little bit.
What is this bill gonna like? Let's also acknowledge the good side of the story, even though it's like so late and so little. But is this a good, like, what is this bill like? Let's be grateful to this bill.
Details?
Yeah, like, and who's responsible for pushing for this bill?
So, from the Washington Post, quote, the new bill would make it more difficult for U.S. companies to ignore abuses taking place in China and give U.S. authorities more power to enforce the law. One provision in the bill requires public companies to certify to the Securities and Exchange Commission that their products are not made using forced labor from Xinjiang. If companies are found to have used forced labor from the region, they would be prosecuted for securities violations. While the U.S. law already prevents companies from importing goods that were made using forced labor, the law is seldom enforced, and it's difficult to prove U.S. companies know about the use of forced labor. the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act passed 406 to 3 in the House in September. People involved in the legislation said that the apparel industry was caught off guard by how quickly it passed without much lobbying. And so now that it's in front of the Senate, lobbying is coming a lot faster. And they're laughing at Murtad's comment.
Right. But we got a $5 super chat from ALD Jaziri1. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. With no comment, but thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, thank you.
I do want to also say that, yes, I recognize the United States is not consistent when it's human rights record and blah, blah, blah. And this is more political. This is more of an anti-China position rather than a pro-human rights position. That if it wanted to be consistent with these same standards, then why are they not doing the same thing to Saudi Arabia?
Take it.
Yes, I was like, yes, I know, but we have...
Give them what they want. I will take it.
Given that we don't have champions for human rights on the planet as much as we need, with all the biases and all the hypocrisy and all the inconsistency and all the actual intentions behind this bill, we take it. We take it because we're desperate, because violations of human rights need to be addressed. We could call out the hypocrisy. We will call out the hypocrisy. And we will address the fact that the intentions behind these bills is mostly anti-China rather than the pro-human rights. But we still celebrate a bill like this because we get them so few and far in between. And we have to take what we can get.
Yes. So Representative Jim McGovern and Senator Marco Rubio. This bill sponsored by them. Thank you.
Right. Yes. Thank you to those people. Rivka,
thanks, little Marco.
Oh, okay. So the top comment says $1 trillion company. Oh, no, go on. You go ahead.
I wanted to say that Apple, they claim that, they're not, using so much and they don't know about it because they actually released this 2020, like what they call like supplier responsibility report. And according to them, this was released in the spring. According to them, they say that 82% of their suppliers are what they call high performers. Now, what exactly does that mean? Or what their definition of a high performer is versus what the bill or what other people would consider. And that the low performers, according to them, are, a record low of 1% to 2%. And also, it's kind of unclear what exactly they want from this. The company that they hired is called Fierce, this lobbying company. Mm-hmm. It's kind of unclear exactly what they want Congress to hear or to do or to change at this point. At least yet it hasn't come out. Like I tried to look some of this up. And everybody was just sort of quoting everybody else. So every once in a while, you would get this little nugget of maybe a little bit different information, but not much more. Yeah, you can look up the supplier's responsibilities report, or you can look up who Fierce government relations are and who their other clients are. But it's not really clear exactly what they want. What Apple wants with this or how or what they want Congress to do or, So that's all. I just wanted to bring that up.
All right. So highlighting some comments. Rod is saying if Apple had to pay a fair wage, a fair wage for their I think there's a 4 missing here. For their product. No, there's a comma missing. Their products would be unaffordable to the vast majority of its user base. Tim is saying, buy Apple and you are a part of the problem. Let your conscience guide you. And then we have two comments up here. Yves, I don't know what that is. Somebody with a weird name.
Eve.
Eve like Wally. Okay, Eve's. No, that's E. No, that's EVE. Never mind.
No,
that's
Eve like Yves Saint Laurent.
Okay, all right. Eves is saying $1 trillion company advocating for slave labor Should we be outraged and surprised that they choose profit over people? This is the way it has always been. No, it hasn't, you goddamn moron. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, companies and for-profit corporations, they're designed to focus on profit, but it's a responsibility of us, the rest of society, to introduce limitations and laws and standards so that while they're focusing on only making profit and nothing but profit, that they stay within an ethical line, like within some guidelines. Okay, so yeah, it hasn't been always like that, and the reason why the world has become a better place than it used to be, and it continues to progress, is because people are not giving into this philosophy of things always being bad and never getting better. Things do get better if we try. So do not be like Eves. Be better than Eves. John is saying, well, of course they are. It would cut into their profit margin. Again, these people don't understand the role. It's like it's kind of like taking a scissor, right, and then chopping someone's ears off, and be like, why are you upset? Scissors are supposed to cut things. Scissors are for cutting. Why are you upset about a scissor doing what it's supposed to do? I'm like, yes, scissors are for cutting, but we could direct that energy towards cutting something that is helpful. Okay, so yeah, companies are like scissors. They just make profit. Like scissors cut, companies make profit. Okay, we could, as people outside of the corporations, as people who will take the government and our politicians to come up with rules and regulations, we could make these companies to just focus on profit while directing them, these for-profit machines, to make profit in the direction that helps other people and doesn't hurt everybody else. Okay, so we're not naive enough to think that corporations are all of a sudden going to be like, hey, profit, who cares? Human rights are more important. No, a corporation is designed to make profit and nothing but profit. Okay, but you could make sure that it's directed and it's in a way that it's not going to hurt us. Just like a scissor, it's only meant to cut and meant to do nothing else, but you could cut someone's ears off with it, or you could take paper and make some art with it. Okay, so there you go. Armin is missing the sarcasm. What sarcasm? Which sarcasm did I miss? No, you're imagining sarcasm. There are literally thousands of people that think that, yeah, of course corporations make profit. What did you guys expect? That's a common opinion. And I think they're missing the point. What sarcasm did I miss?
Let's do the next news.
Okay. Susanna is like, I'm done with this news. Hold on. There we go. I have a trick that I'm not going to teach you guys. All right. Can I clap for the next news?
No.
Okay. Next news.
Saudi activist who fought for women's rights to drive is sent to terrorism court in Saudi Arabia. Miss Lujain Al-Hathlul, 31, has been detained since the spring of 2018 and charged with crimes that include seeking to change the kingdom's political system, campaigning for women's rights, and communicating with foreign journalists, diplomats, and human rights organizations. One of Saudi Arabia's most prominent political prisoners, she appeared before a Saudi judge on November 25th and was notified that her case was being transferred to the Specialized Criminal Court, which is known for prosecuting terrorism and national security crimes. Oh, I said the T word. The Minister of State of Foreign Affairs, Adel Al-Jubeir, denied that her trial was related to her campaign against the kingdom's ban on female drivers. According to her family, she appeared to be weak and shaking uncontrollably as a result of the hunger strike that she began on October 26th in protest of restrictions on family visits and prison conditions.
Wait, sorry. So if it wasn't because of her activism for women being able to be free to drive and all, then why is she in prison? Like, what's the official one? Sorry.
As a security threat.
What security threat?
And it doesn't make sense because she was in one court system and then suddenly they're transferring her to this different court because the previous court was saying, oh, we don't have the jurisdiction for this. But they've been handling her case for over a year. And suddenly they're like, oh no, we need to send you to this court for terrorists. But Rivka, go ahead.
There's also, and they're claiming that it's that she's got, like, she's spying and she's having all this contact with other nations. And one of the things that they're saying was that she was spying for them, or that there was some sort of spying going on, or some inappropriate or illegal or espionage-esque type of activity. So it's not just the driving thing. I mean, that's the thing that the Saudis are claiming, that there's this whole spying thing going on. And so I think part of that is why they're claiming, oh, well, we have to go to this other court because this is such a serious, offense. But they keep seeming to bring up offenses or remove them or change jurisdiction, claim they don't have jurisdiction. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of sort of movement going on without any clear understanding why or direction. And even like her family, doesn't know. And then some of the other people have been provisionally released, but she has not. And so they're calling it suspicious contact with foreign parties. I think that's the term they're using for it.
I mean,
so the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs is saying that al-Haslul was detained because of the issues related to national security, dealing with foreign entities, supporting entities hostile to Saudi Arabia. End quote. It has nothing to do with advocating for women's right to drive. So for context, she was arrested with three other female drivers were arrested around the same time as her. And she was detained a number of times for this. And she was, I believe, she was arrested like weeks before the ban was lifted. She was arrested for this crime weeks before they lifted this ban to great international acclaim, and she's still imprisoned for it, and she's still being prosecuted now as a national security threat for it.
Can I say something now, please? I don't know if it pisses me off more that they arrested her for being an activist for women's rights, saying that it's insane that in the 21st century, women even considered making this illegal for women to drive, and then getting arrested for it right before they make it legal, right? And you're rotting in jail and being emotionally terrorized and going through so much pain and misery and headache for yourself and your family, and then pretending that she's this is another thing that nothing to do with her activism. She's a spy. She's doing terror. But for the people who are new here, we say terror activity or terrorism because YouTube might strike us down if we actually use the real word. You guys just better be smart enough to know what we're talking about, okay? But I don't know if I'm offended more by all of that or the fact that they think that there are people who seriously believe this. Did they legit think oh yeah, people will buy this? Did they like, are they under this illusion that this is gonna fly, or are they just like, we know people that are not gonna believe this, but we're just gonna say it anyways because we have to say this, or to technically make this legal or whatever, like. Because okay, so they can't be that. I mean, I know they're dumb. But they cannot be that dumb to think that that people are not gonna buy into this, right? People are like, "Oh yeah, this is not true." Of course, they are arresting her for her activism, but it's beyond that. It's not that it's just not true. It's that they know that you're gonna know that it's not true, but international law and all, it doesn't really matter what's apparent to the rest of us. If they don't admit what this is for, then technically it takes like moving mountains legally to be able to challenge you know what I mean? You just have to be like, oh, we're not saying, well, nope, we didn't arrest her for her activism. She has connections, she's a spy, or she's doing terror activity and as well.
Previously,
What?
According to her family who saw the indictment, they say that she was previously charged with one of the official charges against her when it originally began in March 2019 included attempting to apply for a job at the United Nations. That's a charge.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah. And then
because there's this whole thing about like government, trying to get work or through other governments recruiting government workers into doing things or trying to work for other governments like the United Nations charge. So it's insane. Hostile elements abroad was one of the things they were talking about, which I think they're kind of applying to the United Nations, so to speak.
I honestly want to know when this is going to happen because I want to count the days, no, the minutes for the day that oil prices crashed.
Yeah.
They plummet like a rock because of, I don't know, alternative energy or something like that, for the day that this goddamn excuse of a country and these so-called politicians, I will be partying it up when this government collapses. Okay, like I would be like, we're gonna come here and we do a live stream and we're gonna be celebrating, guys. This is what I'm telling you. Alternative energy is not just because of the environment. I mean, if that is not excuse enough for enough, I mean, this is like it's the national security threat to global security threat to the entire planet. It's like anti-authoritarian. Just guys, I don't know what you're gonna do with those alternative. Just shove solar panels everywhere. Like just do it, okay?
No nuclear.
Anything, wind. Just please, just get us off oil. God damn it! Like you guys are fueling human rights violations. Just make sure.
I want to highlight something else.
Okay, go
ahead. So I thought this was really interesting. In the New York Times, they were talking about around the time that the driving ban was lifted, she was among about a dozen activists of women and men who were detained, apparently to prevent them from publicly claiming credit for the government's decision.
Okay, yeah. And also, Chris, I know oil prices have crashed. Of course I know the oil. Do you think I don't know the oil prices have crashed? They haven't crashed enough. They need to crash farther. They need to crash more. Okay, we have a super chat that we need to address. But Rivka, go on.
I agree with you in principle, but I think it's really important to think about what's going to happen when the money runs out. How is that going to affect people? So like an immediate kind of hit the bottom could have very serious repercussions with ordinary people in Saudi Arabia, with, your average people, with freedoms that people, the little bit that they may have gotten, so it's just, I don't disagree that it's neat to come to an end, and it will, because it's a finite resource and they know it. But what is it that they're planning? More authoritarianism in terms of what are they going to do when the money runs out? Because they don't seem to have any other plans unless it's part of this sort of glad handing that's going on with MBS to maybe cultivate something. But I am concerned if it were to just hit bottom like that, the negative impact throughout the population on your average person, or all the people that will lose their jobs and all those, compounds that have a lot of freedom within those walls. What's going to happen? I'm concerned about it. It's just something to think about on a geopolitical as well as internal sort of thing. But yes, they do need to. It is going to end, and it will end.
Mortad Skeptic is saying oil prices need to crash harder than the Saudi crashes their planes. I agree with that. But I'm triggered right now. I'm really, really triggered. Okay, look at this, Chris, you're gonna make me lose my mind. Saying, Armin, Saudis are suffering from low oil prices. It's been going on for years. I'm so salty right now for you to think that I don't know that. Oh, really, Chris? It has been happening for years. We have been reporting that for years. Like, do you really seriously think that I don't know that? Do you really seriously think that I, who've been like following Middle Eastern politics for the past 15 years and reporting it here for you guys and talking about it with everybody else in the Atheist Republic community in great detail with so much noise, do you really think I missed the fact that Saudi Arabia is not gonna miss the 2030 vision or whatever crap they're planning? Do you think that I haven't been following the fact that they're suffering economically? I'm seriously triggered. Chris, I am triggered for you to even think that we don't know. Not just me, like the rest of us don't know that here. Okay, like come on. I'm so butthurt right now. I'm mad. I'm really mad. No, okay. I'm even more mad because you're telling me to be. I will refuse. I will not be cool. I will not chill. Nope.
He can't. He's Persian.
I'm Persian. I will not chill. Do not ask me to chill. I will double down on you. It's okay.
Easily, any day of the week. He has no chill.
Oh, actually, I will chill when people. That actually disarms me when people say I'm sorry. That makes me like really go like, oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, we have a super chat.
Oh yeah, we have.
I need you to answer it quickly and concisely, even though I know this is going to trigger you, as it already is triggering you. But I need you to keep it brief because my family is bothering me about dinner. Okay.
Okay. David the Goliath saying, Armin, do you feel sympathy for Zoroastrianism that it was completely destroyed by Islam and current conditions of Zoroastrians? They are near extinction. Zoroastrian Iran would have been much better. Okay. The only reason why I'm sad that Islam destroyed Zoroastrianism is because I didn't get to destroy Zoroastrianism. Instead, it should have been me. It should have been Enlightenment values. It should have been left for me to destroy Zoroastrianism. Okay? So, yeah, I don't know why Islam got that opportunity. Okay. It's nonsense religion. It's an easy target. I should have been able to do, I wish it was bigger so I could destroy it myself.
He could do it with one hand tied behind his back.
So, but the conditions of Zoroastrians, that's different from Zoroastrianism. Those are two different things. Yes, I do feel for the conditions of Zoroastrians, not because they're Zoroastrians, but because they're human. I feel sympathy for the conditions of human, regardless of their religion. Their religion is irrelevant. But Zoroastrianism itself as a religion should have died yesterday. No, actually, thousands. It should have never been a thing because it's ridiculous. The near extinction, okay, they are near extinction. The people are not near extinction, but the religion, if the religion is near extinction, well, that's a good thing. They should have already died. Like the religion should have already been dead ages ago. Zoroastrian Iran would have been much better. Yes, that's like that. Yeah, compared to Islam, I mean everything is better compared to Islam. Okay, a shit sandwich is better than Islam. Okay, so are you now pro shit sandwich? David, are you pro shit sandwich? Because if you put a shit sandwich next to Islam, the shit sandwich is going to seem delicious. It's just going to seem like the best thing ever. Are you pro shit sandwich, David? Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Did that feel good?
Come on. Nowruz is nice. And they jump over the fire and everything. And thus spoke Zarathustra from Nietzsche. Talks about God dying, and he's using Zoroaster as part of a newer, different traditional morality. But whatever. We're getting in the weeds. We're getting in the
That's fun with tradition, which I like. Fun with fantasy. I like fun with mythology. I like fun with fantasy. I like fun with tradition. What I don't like is literally believing in the nonsense. I could enjoy Harry Potter without actually believing that witchcraft and wizardry is real.
God,
Anyways,
know.
yeah, but I have to let other new people. But thank you for the super chat. Sorry for yelling. Anyway, no, I'm not sorry.
You're not
I'm
sorry.
I'm not sorry. Anyways, next news.
Okay, we definitely cannot clap for this. Next news: 7-year-old Indian girl raped and murdered in a tantric ritual in Uttar Pradesh, India. Recently, on Diwali night, 2 men in Uttar Pradesh, or UP, allegedly arred and murdered a 7-year-old girl to extract her liver. The local police reported that the 2 men gave the child's liver to relatives who believed that eating the organ as part of a tantric practice would help them conceive a child. All 4 have been arrested. The 2 young men were paid a total of 1,500 rupees, which is roughly $20 US dollars, for the task, which they reportedly used to buy alcohol. The perpetrators confessed to the police that they kidnapped the girl by tempting her with a bag of potato chips, sexually assaulted her before strangling her and extracting her liver. The chief minister of UP, Yogi Adityanath, has promised a compensation of 500,000 rupees to the victim's family, and that the case will be fast-tracked through the state courts. So this is like next level.
What the hell?
Barbaric, awful. Let me be clear. They did this for $10 US dollars a piece.
I don't have any words actually in this one. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually dumbstruck that these people would want to kill a child in order to have a child. It's some crazy sacrifice BS that is just unbelievable to me, and that the whole thing is just beyond words. And once again, another horrific story out of India about people just sexually abusing, mutilating, killing young girls, women. I mean, for fuck's sake, India. Stop! Get it together.
Where did they get these ideas from? Like, what's the source of these crap ideas? Like,
superstition.
What kind of superstition we're talking?
Some sources just called it occult practice. Some more specifically called it tantric ritual. So some
not any tantra I know about, but I don't know. I guess I don't know all the forms.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, superstition.
Yeah, I don't have that much commentary on this one. I don't know what to say. This is so.
The details are honestly so much worse, but I didn't even want to include it.
It's so reprehensible and so heinous.
Wait, what are the details that you're not telling us?
How they went about getting the liver.
Yeah, I think we should know.
They cut her stomach open.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just details about what they did to her body.
And it's just she's a child and they tricked her with a bag of potato chips. It's just the level of heinousness of this is just beyond the beyonds.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to read the comments. The top comments is by Faiz Khan. Faiz Khan is saying they don't have the fear of Allah. That's why they committed such sins, thinking that nobody will punish them.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm just gonna read the comments. Carl is saying, what has this got to do with being an atheist? Seems to me that you're just trying to promote hate against another race of people.
Oh my!
Carl, Hindus are not a race, number one, okay? Let's just get that straight. And number two, it has everything to do with being an atheist because we're talking about the actions of people taking religious and extremist superstitions to the nth degree that they're willing to kill a child over this. It absolutely does.
I mean, I guess they maybe didn't understand the full context of it because the title that's on the page doesn't specify that this is for an occult ritual.
They could have clicked though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, right, Carl. I didn't mean to get all,
No, don't be. No, fuck Carl. What are you talking about?
No,
fuck
really,
Carl. Carl is a
people...
fucking racist. Carl, I call that Carl. Wait, who is it? Yeah, Carl is a fucking racist who wouldn't say such a thing if we point out the crimes or atrocities in any country. In what, like, Carl is like one of those people with white guilt, one of those morons from the woke cult who would have been completely okay with anything that I think Carl might be the same person that if we posted something that even had nothing to do with religion, but it was like taking a giant juicy dump on like Trump, Carl would be like, yay! But Carl is a fucking bigot. So if we do the same thing to much more horrific crimes done by people that don't share his skin color, he thinks that we have to apply different set of standards to them. So Carl is a fucking bigot, and Carl could go fuck himself. That's what I've said. So no sorry to Carl at all. Oh, look at this. This is great. Admin, that's us. Admin is running a separate agenda against India. Hope he's getting paid well. Well, we're not getting paid well enough. Link to our Patreon in the description, everybody.
You guys didn't know that I'm paid by Pakistan?
No, guys, we're getting paid by you guys are members.
No, not ISIS. It's ISI.
Guys. Everybody knows who's paying us. So let's just move on.
True.
No, but I agree with Sam that we're not getting paid well enough. So please support us. Link in the description. And thank you to all our members. I do need to highlight some comments. Oh, wait, hold on. Just really quickly. Emmett's saying, I guess I need to quit social media forever now. I don't know about all you guys, but sitting here and reading all the garbage that is happening around the world, and especially here in India, is just sickening. And on top of it, being helpless and doing nothing about it, it just makes the matter worse and worse. I feel like I could have a mental breakdown anytime. I am down with this. I'm done with this. Goodbye and take care to all my fellow atheist brothers and sisters. Wow, this guy just quit. This was like this guy just quit.
I feel bad for him because this is a really heinous thing. And I can understand, I mean, how it could, especially if you had a child or if you have to live them. I mean, it's despicable. It's just horrible. I feel really bad for Emmett.
Katie
I want to read this comment by Katie. Saying tantric tradition also includes tantric gurus who advise people what to do. Not sure if this case involved that, but that also happens. Yeah, and we've talked about that dynamic before in other news. So again, I don't know if this is technically, like capital T Tantra, or if that's just what the newspapers that I read chose to call it. But it is clearly involving some pretty deep and crazy superstition.
Okay. Cool. All right, should we go to the... By the way, Katie, your commentary is very important to us. Like, we don't know what we would do without you in the live chat.
Straight up.
Wait, hold on. Soha and I are like the scene from the... I don't know what that's... I don't know the reference. Sorry. Hey, okay, let's just...
It's time for the last news.
Okay, this is last news. Can I clap? Okay, last news.
At the end now. Last news. Egyptian researcher says, quote, people become atheists because holy books have obvious lies. in Egypt. During a recent interview on Egypt's Al Hadath Al Yum TV, researcher Ahmed Abdul Maher said that young people are leaving their religion in part because religious texts include blatant scientific lies. He stated there is no doubt that the young people who are becoming atheists are giving this a lot of thought. They do not become atheists because they are cowards who like heresy. When these texts say that pregnancy can last 4 years, things like this is why young people become atheists and heretics. End quote. Egypt's top Islamic clerics have warned against the rise of atheism in the country since as early as 2014.
This is so you used to get into a lot of trouble in Egypt for saying something like that on TV.
On television.
Yeah, that's
I was
great.
Like, whoa. In the article about this, I don't think they highlighted like how that aspect of it. Like how big of a deal that is. Like, oh shoot, I can't remember his name, but you've had him on Secular Jihadist
Muhammad.
Yeah.
History starts with an H. Yeah, the one who got the guy who got kicked off of TV, like thrown off the show on live TV.
And then run out of the country for saying openly that he's an atheist.
After they invited him on the show.
Yeah, we love them. We love him. We have them on this channel for a couple of times, right?
Hisham. That's it. Muhammad Hisham.
Wait, yeah, you guys. Oh, yeah. I thought you guys already mentioned his name. Yeah,
we couldn't remember exactly how to say his last name.
I met him in Germany and in Amsterdam. He's awesome. He's
me too.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, we were there together.
We were there. It was one of the best times ever.
It was one of my.
It was amazing.
But he had like police threats, so he went on TV and he talked about atheism in Egypt, and he got like the police after him and his family after him, and he went into a world of pain because of just accepting an invitation from a TV in Egypt to talk about atheism, and he did exactly that, and he had to pay for it for years. So what has changed in Egypt that now this guy gets to go and talk about atheism on TV? Is he gonna what's gonna happen to him? Like, is that good? Is the situation in Egypt different now? Have things gotten better?
He wasn't talking about his own apostasy. That might be the difference. He's talking about what motivates people into apostatizing.
Right.
As a researcher. He's not saying I'm a murtad. He's not saying
as a problem that needs to be dealt with, but we need to understand what the source is. Is that like how it's coming across? Yeah, Rivka is like maybe kind of like yeah, like I'm not endorsing it, but I'm just telling you guys you have to be honest about how this is happening. So maybe that's how he's getting away with it. Also, he's like much older than Hisham, and he seems like a researcher. Like, it's harder to bully this guy. Hisham was like a young guy that lived with his parents and with little financial or community support. So it was much easier to go after him relative to this guy. And again, this guy is not like endorsing atheism the way Hisham was endorsing atheism on national TV. By the way, Hisham is like, I don't know, if you can't call Hisham a hero, then nobody deserves to be called a hero. Like, imagine going on Egypt in national TV and normalizing atheism, like at the front lines. Like, that guy, man, that guy. But I'm glad that this is becoming a thing now. But by the way, did Egypt at some point was considering making atheism illegal? That never passed, correct? Do we know?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think that went through. I hope I'm right.
But I do know that I've noticed on Egyptian television often there's discussion, quite a bit of discussion, often negatively, about the rise of atheism and why are people atheists, or what's happening to young people. And this guy's commentary is the most clear and straightforward, but there's often a lot of this sort of underground, sideways way of saying, well, maybe they're not getting anything out of religion, or maybe it's not relevant in a way, but without coming right out and saying it. But I've seen lots of discussions on TV shows where they're trying to maybe figure out, why is this happening, or what can we do about it? But it's interesting that he's coming right out and saying very clearly that these texts are full of ridiculousness and it doesn't make sense.
Okay, but which holy books is he referring to? Because he cannot be referring to the Quran. Is he referring, like, is he
was
saying holy
primarily
book?
referring to the Quran.
Hmm?
He was primarily referring to
Yeah,
this.
that's exactly
Okay.
what he was referring to.
So he's saying the Quran has obvious, like he believes that the Quran has obvious lies in it, and he's saying that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one thing to say the Hadith has obvious lies. This guy went on national TV in Egypt and told everybody that the Quran has obvious lies in it.
He says they have obvious scientific lies.
He says it's schools of Islamic jurisprudence. He's talking about like people who go to university and they look at a religious book, and according to all 4 schools of Islamic jurisprudence, that there's supposed to be something in there that should be able to bring somebody back to life, supposedly, or whereas they learned in university that's not true, or
it really doesn't matter what he says about the Hadith or the Islamic schools of thought. That's like anybody could say that, and then nothing's happening.
I was just giving you a quote of something
I
he
know,
had specifically said.
I know, but that is relative to saying the Quran has, like, is there any way that his words could be interpreted in a different way, Susanna, than actually
we can watch the video?
No, I mean, should we? No, I mean,
you
Susanna has to go. Susanna has to go.
Pause and then read it.
Yeah. So no, but just quickly, because I think just my last thing, because I know Susanna has to go, but I know a lot of people say, like, oh, well, obviously, oh yeah, no shit, Captain Obvious, like, yeah, the Quran has lies in it. I don't think people understand if that's exactly what he means, how significant that is to say that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that seems extremely significant for somebody to say that the Quran, the direct word of God, not the Hadith that could be like fake Hadith, not the Islamic schools of thought, not this ulama, that ulama, not the so-called scholars. No, if he says the Quran, the direct word of God, that book that has obvious lies in it, and he's saying that on national TV, this guy.
He says religious texts or religious books. I'm watching it right now. Okay, now he's talking about Bukhari hadiths. He talks about Islamic scholars.
Yes.
So far, I have not seen him say the word Quran.
No. Okay. So I don't. Okay. I might be wrong.
I'm watching it again.
I might be wrong. Thank you so much, Rivka, for doing that, because I might be wrong, but I don't think it comes across as him talking about the Quran. Okay. I think because religious texts, because a lot of Muslims also say, like, oh yeah, these old so-called scholars in their like academic studies, they think they understand God and they pretend like they're intellectuals and they write these religious holy books, and they're all a bunch of lies, but they don't say that about the Quran, so it's not as significant.
They just excuse it, like this night is faulty.
It's faulty. Oh yeah, so-called holy books, blah blah blah. Right. So I don't think I don't think he would be able. This guy would be able to get away with saying the same thing about the Quran itself. Okay, I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section when this is over. I just don't think he would come out and outright say that there's lies in the goddamn Quran.
Well, he also says when Satan infects you, it poisons you deeply, just like, because he's talking about like the coronavirus, right? If you have just a tiny bit, it could even make you sick. And so he's saying that all these different lies or contradictions or things that don't make sense are infecting people on a large scale. But he does mention Satan and things like that. So I think that it is coming from, as I said, this sort of like, it's not good that this is happening, but we're modern, we're scientists, we're understanding why sort of idea.
So Soha agrees with me. Soha, who's Arab herself, she's saying like, I agree, like you can't do that on national TV, like just say the Quran has lies in it. So I think she's agreeing with me. She's saying people are being arrested for just opening and having Facebook pages that criticize Islam. She also says that the person who opened a page called Egyptian Atheist has already been arrested. So yeah, I don't think like, this guy is saying something. Again, I'm not saying what this guy is saying is not helpful. It is very helpful. I just don't think it's as far as going out and I'm saying, the Quran is a lie. Yeah, I just don't think we're there yet with Egypt. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I just don't think we're there yet, but hopefully I'm wrong.
We're getting close because clerics and researchers openly acknowledge how much of a danger it is. And this is a huge acknowledgement on TV that they're addressing that this is like something that's happening. They're admitting it. And I liked how this guy was saying they're not apostatizing because they're cowards.
Right. But just
they're apostatizing because of the strength of their rationality.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We like that, but it's not as far as saying the Quran has lies. And also the research that Susanna just mentioned, that's also saying like, people just admitting based on research that people are leaving Islam because they're reading the Quran. It's not endorsing it. It's not saying the Quran. And it's actually, even in those articles, if you read them, saying like, it's because they don't understand the Quran. They're just reading it instead of looking at what the scholars are saying, right? So even in that, admission that more people reading the Quran is making them leave Islam, even they're not saying, that's not them saying there's something wrong with the Quran. Okay, that's them saying like, maybe they're reading it without properly understanding it, right? So we're not living in an Egypt right now.
Your Abrahamic mind cannot comprehend.
But I do want to say, though, having spent a lot of time in North Africa, I mean, predominantly Morocco, but other places in North Africa, I've noticed over the last 10 years, there has been a shift in what's acceptable to talk about. Like I remember when we would talk about aspects of Islam or, like I had a friend who would always talk about how Ramadan is dumb and how it, it's ancient, it's nothing new. And, but he would do it in private. Well, in the last few years, he talks about it in a cafe, openly, and so and more people seem to be openly having these discussions and also discussing the fact that Africa was colonized by Islam in a way that they're Africans, right?
Baby.
They're not Arabs. They weren't originally, there's this is starting to happen more than I remember, and more so publicly amongst people at tables and cafes and things like that, or in polite company, so to speak, than it used to.
All right, guys, we're getting close to 3 hours, so we need to end this now. But thank you everybody in the live chat. Thank you everybody for following us. And please, 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 please understand that if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, then you are a fucking moron. That you could change that immediately by hopping over to our YouTube channel and just subscribing, and then you will get our endless love and gratefulness. But up until the time that you decide to stop being a moron and subscribing, then fuck you. We hate you.
No,
and
I don't support this.
If you decide that you're gonna remain unsubscribed, then you're a worthless piece of shit.
No,
and I don't care. You can go fuck yourselves. Okay.
This is just Armin's way of saying that he loves you and cares for you, because he has a problem expressing things in a nice way.
am
and he
That's
has a
true.
problem saying how much he loves people, so he has to wrap it in this
Appreciation,
nastiness.
Right.
explicit
No,
recognition.
I do love people so much if they're subscribed to Atheist Republic, of course. But no, I do love. I love you so much. I do.
Oh wait, we got a
got
super chat. Thank you
chat.
for the $2, Maroon. Saying good
Yes.
night, Prophet Muhammad.
Profit.
Guys, again, keep us to above 200 patrons because we need my patron blasphemous art and all that stuff. Link in the description. Do not support us financially. Do not support us financially. If you're struggling financially, do not support us financially. But if you're not struggling financially, then become a patron. Link in the description. Keep us above 200 patrons so we could produce
right now.
Yes, so that we could have one blasphemous art every single week. Please keep us above 200. Link in the description. Thank you very much. And
stand with France.
Stand with France. To stand with France. Bye.
The absence of hikmah.
The absence of hikmah.